بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين الذي أسس لنا قواعد هذا الدين صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى سائر الصالحين إلى يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Primer for the Primer, getting yourself ready to study Usul al-Fiqh. Don't sleep on this. My experience as a student and my own mistakes, which there are numerous, as well as an educator, is that people tend to neglect the basic stuff and it comes back to haunt them later on. Let's talk about the significance of the waraqat. Like, what is it that you're going to take from studying it? Why would you want to study it? Number one, it's concise but comprehensive. So it's super, in fact, as one of my teachers I read it to said, it's sometimes too concise. Like, it's so concise that it becomes confusing. Despite consisting of only a few pages, Waraqat contains the essential terminology and principles that form the foundations of Usul al-Fiqh. Why would it be concise? I'm asking you to think about that while I drink this coffee. Why is the Waraqat like only 8 to 12 pages long? Why? What was Imam al-Haramain trying to accomplish? The summary of this massive 2-volume book is now into like a few pieces of paper. Why would he do that? So think as an educator. Put yourself in the place of an educator. Number one, it's easy to teach, like it's easy as a reference. Number two, it's easy for students to digest. It's not intimidating. Usul al-Fiqh is one of the most intimidating subjects. Number three, they didn't have a lot of paper back then, a lot of resources to do this. So it's the recognition of the actual reality that they're in. Number four, it makes it, and this is going to sound strange to you and I, easy to verify. There is actually debate about the authenticity of al-waraqat, right? So being small in size allows it to be preserved letter for letter, word for word in an easy way. What's the educational value? This is what you want to think about. What is the value prop for you? The text serves as an ideal introduction for beginners in the discipline of Usul al-Fiqh, providing clear definitions and a structured approach to understanding complex subjects. You need structure. If you want to get into complexity, you need structure. You want to climb a mountain, you better know about hiking and how to climb at a base level. You're never going to reach the summit, right? People don't like structure now. They like watching YouTube clips going from here to here. I'm taking this in, taking this in, taking this in, but they don't have the skill set to, if you will, ascend. That's why it's called Swiss. We want to see you ascend to reach the qala, to reach the apex of the mountain. So if you're thinking about studying something which is complex, remember what I'm going to tell you. It has to be structured. It has to be a path you can follow. So he does that through definitions and a structured approach to understanding complex concepts. He's going to teach you how to think in a complex way and unpack complex ideas. Its historical influence since its composition in the 5th century, Imam Haramain dies around 478, I believe. The Sheikh of Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, who died 505. Since its composition in the 5th century, Hijri Waraqat has been a mainstay. It is a mainstay in Islamic education curricula across different regions and schools of thought. What are some of the evidences for its importance? We talked about it earlier in the last one, but let's do it again. Number one, numerous scholars taught it. Scholarly attention, as I said earlier, is the greatest way to tell that something is okay. Taught by leading authorities across generations. Subject of academic debates and discussions. So when you're running into some guy that has a YouTube video and he's attacking Al-Razi, or he's attacking Imam Haramain, or he's attacking, Ibn Taymiyyah or whoever, and then you see like a large number of scholars don't have problems with these issues or these people. They may be critical of them. It's a different issue. I don't agree with Ibn Taymiyyah, but have to recognize his scholarly contribution. That is where you want to be. You don't want to be listening to some clown that's playing Fortnite at 3 o'clock in the morning, eating hot Cheetos, drinking strawberry pop, and telling you that Al-Razi is a kafir or Ibn Taymiyyah is a kafir. You don't have time for this. You don't have time for this. You want to focus. Do scholars pay a lot of attention to this? Is the majority of attention paid to it generally positive? I'm out. Peace. Nice talking to you, bro. Notable commentaries, Jalaluddin al-Mahadi's commentary is kind of the primary foundational commentary. Al-Hattab, which we're going to be doing here because he's Maliki, is sort of a commentary on Mahadi's commentary. And then As-Susi, who did another commentary on Hattab. So you have these Waraqat, then you have Mahali, then you have after Al-Mahali, you have Al-Hattab, who's explaining Mahali, and then after Al-Hattab, who lived in Mecca, you have As-Susi, who's explaining Hattab, who's explaining Jalaluddin Mahali, is going back to the actual text. This quote is very important. The continued relevance of Waraqat over centuries attests to its exceptional educational value and the clarity of its approach to usul al-fiqh. We call what's called ijazatul ayam, wa ijazatul sinin, the ijaza of time, the ijaza of days, the ijaza of years. Right? That time is important. It's a testimony that this is something, as I mentioned earlier, that you can rely on. Let's quickly talk about Al-Hattab's commentary on Al-Mahali's commentary on the Waraqat. Al-Qurratu Ayn is a comprehensive commentary on the Waraqat by Imam Al-Hattab. We are not going to go through that commentary word for word. It is extremely wordy and it gets extremely complicated. We're going to take the way from the top of it. The title means the cooling of the eye or the sweetness of the eye, a metaphor for something that brings you comfort and joy. It serves both as a direct commentary on the Waraqat and as an explanation of Al-Mahali's earlier commentary, as I mentioned earlier. Remember this. Why would he call it Qurratul Ayn? Why would he call it Qurratul Ayn? Why would he call it that? Because as a student of knowledge, you should find sweetness in this, man. It should be hard work. It should be discipline. It should be dedication. But there's a beauty to this, man. What's the relationship to Al-Mahali's commentary? Number one, he builds on Al-Mahali's well-respected commentary by clarifying difficult passages. He only differs with him, I don't like the word deviate, when there's like serious differences. He also adds a number of beneficial insights. He's his own scholar. He's his own independent genius, not found in either text. What are some of the features? Number one, it has a clear, accessible language for beginners, but it also has certain issues related to logic and language that are extremely complex, as well as legal logic, which we're not going to touch, okay? There's a more detailed explanation of complex concepts, and it preserves the original insights of both the text. So also, he's going to be comparing manuscripts and saying, this may be wrong, or this may be right, or this, right? And this is what we call the peer review of the classic Islamic period. Unlike Christianity, Judaism, and other religions, the Islamic education history, as well as the negotiations around what is orthodoxy and what is right, happens publicly, not privately. Like the qira'at, someone who studied the qira'at, I find it concerning when I see people locating their assumption of the historic preservation of the Quran is kind of like what the priests did in Judaism and the rabbis did in Christianity and what the rabbis did in Judaism. But just how I learned the qira'at in a public place, in a masjid, in front of everybody, the qira'at were negotiated publicly, specifically because of the 5 prayers. So one of the things that I want you to take from this is confidence in the tradition and how the tradition was very publicly accessible. And here's an example, explanation of an explanation of an explanation. So he preserves the original insights of the text, and he's offering centuries of peer review to the text. And also he helps organize the presentation of difficult topics. Why Al-Hattab wrote this commentary? Let's take it from him. Many scholars have commented on it. He says some elaborately and some concisely. Among the best commentaries is that of our teacher, so the sheikh of his sheikh, the great scholar Jalaluddin Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Ahmad al-Mahali al-Shafi'i. Even though Al-Hattab is Maliki, he has no problem engaging the Shafi'i. Madhabs and groups, these were never identity politics that we see amongst the modern mind of Muslims today, where being a Maliki is like being a Blood or a Crip, or being Sufi or Salafi is like, being on this team or that team. No doubt we have our differences. No doubt we have academic differences, very serious academic differences. But what we're seeing now is cocoa melon stuff, man. This is childish. So Al-Hattab has no problem engaging 2 Shafi scholars, Imam al-Haramain and Imam al-Mahali, rahimahumullah. It is rich in benefits and insights, but due to its extreme brevity, it approaches the nature of not puzzles. What it means is it approaches the nature of ambiguity. It can puzzle the mind. It's so brief that it sometimes, in its attempt to be brief, it becomes cryptic. And its benefits cannot be discovered without effort and care. The original, you got to put a lot of work into it because, again, it's so concise. The determination has weakened in this age. What he means is the determination of students of knowledge. And worries and sorrows have increased, and assistance from brothers has decreased. Like, my school, man, we're struggling. You should go enroll. Help us out. Normative religious education. Sometimes one of my teachers was a great teacher. He was poor. I used to say, man, subhanAllah, you have so much knowledge. And how come you're like all alone and working all alone? And he said, Allah wants to make sure I'm serious and sincere in my knowledge. And you see people that are absolute knuckleheads receiving tremendous amount of attention. When I was a new Muslim and ignorant, I had a lot of fans. But the more I learned and the more I became insightful and trained by teachers, the less attention I received, till I was ultimately, as you can see, shadow banned. So I sought guidance from Allah in commenting on the waraqat with clear expressions highlighting the insights and benefits of the aforementioned commentary of Mahali, such that this commentary becomes an explanation of both waraqat and the mentioned commentary, Al-Hattab. Next time, inshallah, we're going to talk about Imam al-Haramain as well as Imam al-Hattab. Barakallahu feekum. Up until this point, we've gave sort of a philosophical approach to this class. Then we talked about Imam al-Haramain and the waraqat in particular. And then we talked about Qurratul Ain, the explanation. Next time, we're going to talk about the writers of both texts. Barakallahu feekum wa sallallahu wa sallam ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.